The funding for this video is provided by the amazing members of my Patreon. Also contributions from viewers like you. Thank you. Y'all started from PBS Kids, what you gonna do? Fight me? Anyway, roll the video. Hey y'all, it's Harriana and I'm back with another video. Hi, hello, how are you doing? My name is Harriana and welcome back to The Pirate Ship, also known as Harry His Pirate Ship. I'm the captain, you are not my first mate. I don't got no first mate because you want to know why. Bring your ear closer to the speaker so you can hear me clearly. No one's worthy of being the first mate. But hi, hello, how are you doing? My name is Harriana and I like to make content based on nostalgia and family and children's entertainment and all the issues that I find within those spaces. Now, today's video was actually inspired by somebody leaving this really rude reply to something I said on Threads, and I actually realized that this is a bigger discussion than, like, you know, the small post that I made, because I wanted to sit here and just discuss what is womanhood supposed to look like air quotes supposed, because it's not one size fit all, especially when it comes to Western animation. I say up until like somewhere in the 2010s, we've always had this very kind of, I don't even want to say like a bit conservative view of when it comes to womanhood, with a lot of the female characters we saw in our shows in like the 90s and the 2000s and the early 2010s, and then a lot of the changes that we see with these characters now. And when I see female characters, I am talking about female characters that are specifically adult. But before we get started, I just want to make a quick brief announcement. I have decided that I am going to start promoting my Patreon again, because like I said, I in the past was just starting to become very uncomfortable with promoting my Patreon, but I have come to the conclusion that it is okay to support yourself. It is okay to do what you gotta do, because I'm very open about how my main source of income is my YouTube channel, but also my shop. And for a while my Patreon was a good source of income for me too, just as well. It wasn't like me over here making thousands of dollars a month, but it was enough for me to, like, you know, be able to eat, be able to, like, you know, put gas in my car and be able to pay my bills. It was enough for me to help be able to keep the lights on, especially with the direction that I have been going with lately on my channel, where I decided I wanted to make more video essay content. Video essays just take a bit longer, so I've already started making the new exclusive content over on my Patreon. I have a new video where I talk about this one specific headcanon with the character Jax from The Amazing Digital Circus, and how it makes me a tad bit uncomfortable. And the headcanon is where people headcanon him to be black, and I just kind of give some reasoning for why I feel the way I do about that. So if you guys are interested in that, the link to it is down below. The most cheapest one is $1, and I'd say the one that costs the most is about $5. So I didn't want to make things too pricey, but also I'm just trying to do what I can to make sure I can support myself, and I gotta do what I gotta do. And like, I even had to talk to like a lot of my creator friends and things like that, where they were just saying like every little bit counts. And yeah, I do agree. So when I do make my Patreon exclusive content, by the way, it's not going to be super duper long like how it is on my channel. More shorter videos ranging between 2 minutes to 7 minutes long, but I have already started putting so much in there. I've been doing exclusive like voice memos and all that, so yeah, completely optional, only if you want to, but I would deeply appreciate it. Now moving forward, let's go ahead and begin with the comment that really, like, you know, upset me. So I was over on Threads, and if you guys know what Threads is, it is Instagram's, you know, extension. It is their text-based app where people just get on and just talk about whatever the fuck is on their mind. So I was basically talking about some discourse that I saw from the movie K-pop Demon Hunters. And if you've been watching my channel since the summer, you know that K-pop Demon Hunters has been a hot topic over on the pirate ship for a little bit. But I was seeing that some people were going around and saying that the women in K-pop Demon Hunters acted childish, and people were like going as far as to say that these characters were adult because of the way they acted. So I did make a post about this and I'll insert it. People are saying that Huntress acts childish. To be honest, plenty of women in their 20s act like that. And don't try to get on me saying that's not true. I am around women in their 20s all the time. K-pop Demon Hunters was accurate with that, LMAO. Now, for people who are familiar with my content, if you watch my channel, you know that I did not mean that in a derogatory way, but also at the same time, not everyone knows me. Not everybody knows who I am to a certain extent. Not everybody watches my videos. Not everybody knows that I am like a cartoon enthusiast. This is stuff that I'm always talking about, always rambling about. Like, this is the type of shit I'm talking about when people try to say that I be posting rage bait when I really don't. And plenty of people that replied to that post, they understood what I was talking about. They understood where I was coming from. I did not mean that in a negative way, but also at the same time, I'm a Sagittarius and I'm forever going to be misunderstood. So I ended up getting this one quote and I ended up blocking the person. I'm gonna have their name blocked out. Don't send hate to this person even though they piss me off. Please don't do that, y'all. It just, what they said, look at it. You guys took this wrong. Trust me, I'm around women in their 20s all the time. I wasn't saying they're childish. They just act like children. You could have kept your mouth shut about it. This was incredibly dumb. Yeah, you guys, including you, took it the wrong way. Stop acting like you know me. You don't. First of all, before I even just go into the discourse of it all, people have just gotten way too comfortable with speaking to strangers like this. I have had to deal with people talking to me like this my whole life. As I talked about how I used to get bullied a lot in school and all of that, I have always had people talking to me out of their ass like this. So when I get comments like this, I automatically hit that block button because I'm just like, I'm not dealing with this. I'm just gonna walk away. People are always going to twist up your words. They're going to take what you said and think that you meant something else by it. Whatever. We know how people are at the end of the day. At the end of the day, I know what I meant when I said that. I know I didn't mean that in a negative way. But also, it did get me thinking, what is womanhood technically like supposed to look like? Because one reason I really didn't enjoy K-pop Demon Hunters is because we got to see a different way of what womanhood looks like. And I even say that it is a tad bit more realistic. But when I say realistic in a sense, I mean, like, these are people that I know. Like, when I saw Mira, Rumi, and Zoey hanging out with each other in their apartment that they lived in with each other, I felt like those are people that I am usually around. As you guys see, I'm literally a fucking cosplayer. I'm literally dressed up at the moment, and I am surrounded by women that have very big personalities, very much out there, not afraid to express how they are, but they are very open about their interests and all of that. So I meet like a lot of people similar to the ones in K-pop Demon Hunters. I even say that I am a mix of Zoey and Mira put together. But it also just makes me think about how we kind of have had a very limited view of womanhood when it comes to Western animation, because in shows that we watched growing up, like Rugrats and Hey Arnold and even Recess, when we see women in those shows, or like I'll even throw Dexter's Laboratory in the mix too just as well, when we saw women in those shows, they really kind of only had 3 different roles. They were either 1, a mother, 2, a teacher, or 3, some type of administrator that worked at the school. And there's nothing wrong with seeing these type of women in our works, but for the longest that was just kind of all of what we were seeing in Western animation. Because I even sit and I look at some Western animation that was adult from that time period, and things were, you know, not too far off from that. Like, I would even take Diane from BoJack Horseman for a while, because we saw that she was the partner of Mr. Peanut Butter, and then later on the wife, and then, you know, she ended up leaving and all of that. But we also did get to see that Diane had a career of her own. She was a writer. She worked in Hollywood. And we even had Shigo growing up, and Shigo was, you know, basically a criminal, but we also saw that she technically, you know, was helping Drac and literally fuck up the world. When it comes to Western animation, in my opinion, I'd say that female adult characters aren't usually the priority. This is why I had my panel about how women deserve better from animation that I did at this year's MomoCon. I would have the link to that down below. But moving forward, I was just talking about the types of portrayals that we see of women outside of animation, but what we see in live action film just as well. And what comes to mind is that I think of shows like Sex and the City, shows like Desperate Housewives, like even I would say the X-Files too just as well, because they always had a specific type of woman that we would see in this show, and she would always usually be like a damsel in distress, a mother type figure. But one major example that I really want to use for this has to be Girlfriends. Y'all know that I'm never ever really gonna stop talking about Girlfriends. I always have something to say. But we see a group of women, they hang out with each other all the time, but we also see that they go out for drinks. We see that they go out for lunch, dinner, all of that. They even go to the club. We get to see all the little situationships that happen then and there. Like, I'd say that Girlfriends is a pretty realistic depiction of womanhood. But also, I would say that that is not the only kind of womanhood that is out here. That is why when I was talking about K-pop Demon Hunters, why the film just felt a bit refreshing, because as I said, there are plenty of women in their 20s, including myself, that act that way. I feel like we shouldn't be feeling like we have to limit womanhood into this one type of box, because I remember we were talking about growing up, we struggled with being open about liking, like, you know, Western animation and video games and anime and comic books and mangas and all of that, because we are technically, like, you know, seeing that these things are technically childish. But also at the same time, adults are making these things. They make adult mangas, they make adult anime, they make adult series. Sometimes I feel like when it comes to adulthood, people think that you automatically have to be boring in order to seem grown up. Like, I feel like adults are allowed to have different interests. They're allowed to wear like Cookie Monster pants and be excited and screaming around with their friends and eating a whole bunch of snacks and having movie marathons and all that. But also, adulthood could be going to the club with your girls and getting drunk. Either one is fine. I even want to bring My Little Pony up as an example, because as y'all know, I didn't recently start watching My Little Pony until like this year. And one of the interesting thing about that is that that is a show I would say is about womanhood, because pretty much the main six are adult. They have jobs, they have responsibilities, and those are the two major things that come along with being grown. You have to go to work, you have to take care of this, you have to take care of that, you have to do tasks that you technically don't want to do, but you have to do in order to move on and move forward in life. I don't know, I am getting happier to see that Western animation isn't like technically putting women into like a box anymore of them being like a teacher or an administrator or even being a mom. And while I think Miraculous Ladybug did a bit of a bad example of this, I do appreciate the diversity when it comes to the types of women they have in the show. Because as we have Nadia literally works at the news station, but she also is a mother. She has a daughter that Marinette, the main character, babysits. And then we also have Natalie, and Natalie is child free, but she basically is a caregiver to Adrian, who is her boss's son. We see that she is assistant, we see that she is his ride or die, and then we also have Penny, who is another child free woman who works in the music industry. She works in music management. But then we also have Miss Bustier, who is a teacher, and then we do see that she does become a mom later on. Like, and then we also have Audrey, who is, you know, she also is a mother, but she is also like a well-known fashion manager. What is she? She owns the fashion magazine Style Queen. Like, we see so many different types of women in Miraculous Ladybug, and while a lot of them are mothers, they have, like, you know, these big, interesting, extravagant careers. Do I think that they could have done a much better job of writing these women? Most definitely. Most definitely. Miraculous Ladybug is one of those shows where they almost have it, but it's not quite. The idea was there, the execution was not. But yeah, I just wanted to say and just talk about, like, what is womanhood supposed to even look like? We don't know, because it's not one size and fit all. Like, yeah, we do have our adult responsibilities, but that also means that I'm not allowed to draw anymore. I'm not allowed to act funny and quirky and stuff like that with my friends and have like funny movie nights and wear like Cookie Monster pajamas. I also can go out with my friends and go drink and all of that and go out for dinner and go out to get sushi and all of that jazz. Like, it's just a lot to think about. But yeah, that is just pretty much all I have to say about this. This was just a bit of a commentary video, just a chit-chatty one. I really would like to know what you all's thoughts about this is. Like, could you relate to the women in K-pop demon hunters? Can you relate to the women in girlfriends? Let me know down below. I would deeply appreciate it. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. Have a great day, night, whatever time of day that you chose to watch this video. I'm just thankful that you're watching with the ads on. All right, thank you. Goodbye.